From Lagos, the nation's commercial capital, this is the News at 10. Live from Channels Television. Reporting tonight, Anne Nwawodo.
Hello and welcome. Tonight, pupils and teachers of Apostolic Faith Montessori School in Emure Ekiti, kidnapped about a week ago, regained their freedom with the driver of the school bus found dead. Independent National Electoral Commission INEC releases more results from Saturday's rerun and by-elections across the country. More groups hold solidarity rally in support of River State Governor Siminalayi Fubara over his victory at the Supreme Court. And Nangolo Mbumba is sworn in as Namibian president after the death of 82-year-old Hage Geingob on Sunday morning. The pupils and teachers of the Apostolic Faith Montessori School in Emure Ekiti, who were kidnapped about 1 week ago, have regained their freedom. The driver of the school bus in which they were kidnapped was unfortunately found dead. According to the State Police Command, the rescue operation follows the deployment of a rapid response squad in collaboration with the military, Amotekun Corps from Ekiti and Ondo State, as well as vigilantes and local hunters who have been combing the Emure Ekiti forest since the abduction of the students and their teachers. The police say 8 suspects have been arrested in connection with this incident. The state governor, Abiodun Oyebanji, who has visited the school pupils and teachers at the State Teaching Hospital, acknowledged the role played by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu in securing the release of the students and their teachers.
I'm thankful to Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu for a swift response to this. His intervention made all the difference. I'm extremely grateful, and I also thank all the security chiefs. All of them put something together. They mobilized men and materials to ensure that they will rescue them. I'm extremely grateful to all of them. I commend the Honorable Commissioner for Health and his team for their swift response too, because early this morning when I spoke to him, he was already in Emure. And I love the mobilization to bring them here. And I've gone around, I've looked at all of them, they're stable, and they'll be here until they are found to be medically fit to go back home. We are going to have a security meeting to ensure that this does not happen again. Well, I sympathize and I condole with the family of the departed. I've dispatched the Deputy Governor to go to Emure to go and commiserate with them and to commiserate with KBC.
And in Imo State, reactions are still trailing the pipeline explosion that occurred in Obiti community in Ohaji, Ebema local government area of the state, which led to the death of 5 persons. The latest is coming from the lawmaker representing Ohaji Ebema Federal Constituency at the National Assembly, Honorable Eugene Dibiago, who has been on an inspection visit to that explosion area. Although he condemned the cases of pipeline vandalism and crude oil theft, he is calling for help for those whose farmlands have been affected by the explosion.
What I'm seeing here today is very, very unfortunate. I'm saddened by the colossal damage I'm seeing here. Because as we were coming, we saw some farmers still crying at this moment, showing heavy losses concerning their farmlands, and it's quite unfortunate. On this note, I'm calling on the necessary agencies. When I mean agencies, I mean palliative agencies like NEMA and other environmental agencies to come to the aid of our people, to come to the aid of my people. This is a fault of not theirs, only that they are now victims because the fire gutted their farmlands and destroyed their crops. So they need palliative. We are with NEMA office Owerri, the team, they are here again to see for themselves and continue with the necessary assessment to ensure that my people are really taken care of.
To election matters now. Most of the results from Saturday's rerun and by-elections have been declared by the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC. Our next report highlights some of the results and winners declared by the Independent National Electoral Commission in the southern part of Nigeria.
The conduct of the rerun and by-elections by the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, stemmed from the 2023 general elections as directed by various election petition tribunals.
The election was contested.
In Ebonyi State, southeast Nigeria, INEC declared the candidate of the All Progressives Congress, APC, Professor Anthony Ani, as the winner of the by-elections for Ebonyi South Senatorial seat, which was contested for by 4 candidates from different political parties.
That Ani Anthony Okorie of ABC, having satisfied the requirements of the law, is hereby declared the winner and is returned elected.
Professor Ani will replace Mr. Dave Umahi, whose appointment as a Minister of Works created a vacuum for Ebonyi South at the Red Chamber. The outcome of the by-election elicits jubilation among party faithful.
Definitely is going to do very well, more particularly in the area of education. You know, those are priority areas of our governor. So you don't expect anything less than making sure that, yes, he joined forces with the governor.
Elsewhere in Anambra State, also in the southeast, the candidate of the Young People's Party, YPP, Mr. Peter Uzokwe, scaled through a keenly contested rerun election for Nnewi North, Nnewi South, and Ekusigo Federal Constituency.
I am very, very happy that today has come to fruition. I thank God. I thank those people that God sent as my destiny helpers. They should expect many, many goodies, dividend of democracy, because the person that is sending me is passionate about the grassroots.
In the same state, INEC declared Mrs. Chinwe Nwabife, also of the YPP, as winner of the rerun election held in Nanka Ward 1 to represent Urumba North and South Federal Constituency. In neighboring Delta State, Blessed Achoja of the All Progressives Congress emerged winner of the rerun election conducted for the Ethiop West State constituency. Achoja polled 6,462 votes to beat Mr. Chris Onogba of the People's Democratic Party, who had 5,057 votes. Anthony Alakbala of the All Progressives Congress also won the Burutu North State constituency rerun election with 7,728 votes to defeat the People's Democratic Party's candidate Asukba Foteta, who scored 6,616 votes. In Ondo State, southwest Nigeria, Ifeoluwa Ehindero of the APC emerged winner of the Akoko Northeast and Akoko Northwest Federal Constituency by-elections. The APC candidate polled 35,504 votes to defeat his closest rival, Bada Olalekon of the People's Democratic Party, who had 15,328 votes. The Akoko Northeast and Akoko Northwest Federal Constituency became vacant in 2023 after the former legislator Olubunmi Tunji-Ojo resigned following his appointment as Minister of Interior. In Oyo State, the rerun for the Shaki West State constituency took place in 2 wards, in Odosun and Obalanja, amidst tight security. But it was Ibrahim Shitu of the APC who was declared winner by the Independent National Electoral Commission in what was apparently a close race between the APC and the PDP candidates.
Shaki West is one of the polling units that have the big, they have massive turnout. If you look at other places in the country, they have very, very low turnout. So that speaks a lot that people actually want me, and then I'm very grateful, and then I'm going to promise them I'm not going to disappoint them by God's grace.
The rerun and by-elections conducted across the country might have put to rest the election cycle for the 2023 general elections. It is now left for the winners to translate these mandates into meaningful equal representation.
And in the northern part of the country, elections took place across 17 states. The exercise was, however, suspended in all 10 polling units in Kunchi local government area of Kano State as a result of violence, while in Kaduna State, one person was killed.
Across 17 states in the northern part of Nigeria, voters turned out very early on Saturday to exercise their franchise as the Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) conducts rerun and by-elections in 26 states across the country. While voting went smoothly in some places, the exercise was marred with violence in others, including all 10 polling units in Kunchi local government area of Kano State, leading to suspension of polls by INEC. However, winners emerged in other parts of the state. INEC declared Al-Hassan Ishaq of the New Nigerian People's Party (NNPP) as winner of the rerun election in Kura Garun Malam State constituency with 37,262 votes, while Bello Bututu, also of NNPP, won the rerun election at Remin Gado Tofa State constituency with 31,135 votes. It's a similar situation in Kaduna State, where election went smoothly in many parts of the state, except in Igabi local government area, where a 40-year-old man was shot to death by suspected political thugs who snatched ballot boxes, as confirmed by police authorities in the state. But that did not stop winners from emerging, as INEC declared Hussein Jallo of the PDP winner of the Igabi federal constituency by elections after he scored a total of 47,313 votes to defeat Zayad Ibrahim of the APC, who got 43,915 votes. In the state constituency by elections, the PDP won in Kudan state constituency, while the APC won in Makera and Chikun state constituencies. In Jigawa State, Yakubu Adamu of the People's Democratic Party emerged winner of the rerun election in Birnin Kudu, Buji Federal Constituency.
53, 54.
In Sokoto State, the PDP's candidate Omar Yusuf Yabo polled a total of 27,041 votes to maintain his lead in the Yabo Shagari Federal Constituency rerun election. Now by the Chief Returning Officer, Professor Abdullahi Bagudo. In the northeast, Musa Mustafa of APC emerged the winner of the Yobe East Central by-election held across 7 local government areas of the zone to defeat his closest rival of PDP, Mr. Kolomi Aji. The People's Democratic Party emerged winner in all the state constituency seats in the rerun elections in Bauchi State, as Jamilu Dahiru defeated his closest rival Aliu Abdullahi of the APC to emerge winner in Bauchi Central. Abubakar Suleiman defeated Khalid Ningi of the APC to win the election in Ningi. Nasiru Allah defeated Dantata Ali of the APC to emerge winner in the Madara Chinade rerun election, while in the Zungur Galambi constituency rerun, Saidu Ahmed emerged victorious, having defeated his major opponent, Ibrahim Yuguda of the APC. The rerun election in the 7 polling units across 3 registration areas of Mayo Belwa State constituency in Adamawa State witnessed a large turnout of voters and a heavy presence of security outfits in the state. The returning officer, Professor Mohamed Baba Ardo, announces the winner of the rerun election for Mayo Belwa 2 constituency.
That Mahmoud Musa Kalamu of PDP, having satisfied the requirement of the law, is hereby declared the winner and is returned elected.
By-elections have also held in the Jalingo Zing Yoro Federal Constituency in Taraba State, with low turnout of voters in most polling units. However, as of the time of filing the report, results had yet to be announced. The by-elections and rerun elections were conducted by INEC due to deaths or resignations of elected lawmakers and in compliance with court orders.
Break. break, Nigeria's First Lady Oluremi Tinubu seeks improved medical infrastructure to take care of cancer patients and survivors in the country. Please join us again. Welcome back. If you've just joined us, you're watching the news at 10 on Channels Television. A reminder of our top stories. Pupils and teachers of Apostolic Faith Montessori School in Emure-Ekiti kidnapped about a week ago regained their freedom, but the driver of the school bus found dead. Independent National Electoral Commission INEC releases more results from Saturday's rerun and by-elections across Nigeria. More groups hold solidarity rally in support of River State Governor Siminalayi Fubara over his victory at the Supreme Court. And Nangolo Mumbamba was sworn in as Namibian president today after the death of 82-year-old Hage Geingob on Sunday morning. Have taken to the streets in River State to celebrate the victory of Governor Siminalayi Fubara at the Supreme Court. The latest celebration is coming from residents of Eleme local government area of the state, where the people declared their support for the governor. They are now calling for peace in the state to allow the governor implement his programs.
The streets of Eleme in River State are busy. Residents from across the 10 political wards in the local government area take to the street in a solidarity march with the state governor, Mr. Siminalayi Fubara. From Refinery Junction, the point of convergence, the procession moves through Alode, Ogale, Agbonchia, Aleto, and Eleme markets.
You see the crowd. It's a clear indication that Eleme are in support of His Excellency. You can see the youth, the women, the ladies, all of us were here. We're in support of the governor of Rivers State. And what the governor is doing.
The women are behind him, the youths are behind him, the chiefs are behind him, the political class is behind him.
It's just a little over a week since the Supreme Court affirmed the victory of Mr. Fubara as the governor of the oil-rich state. And these residents are pledging their support for him, each group with its song and style.
We have stamped our feet to show our solidarity and support, and we are asking that everybody should give their support to His Excellency, the Governor of Rivers State. We must consider the economic and social well-being of Rivers State. Therefore, we must give the Governor a chance to do that which he knows how to do for Rivers people.
We need peace in Rivers State, progress, we need development. The only way Rivers State can move forward is when there's peace.
Rallies like these are common during election campaign, but they've become common sight in Rivers State in recent time, particularly in the wake of the political tension in the state.
Still talking politics, youths of the Labour Party in Edo State on Sunday protested against the alleged interference of the national chairman in the party's primary election process ahead of Edo governorship election, which is scheduled to hold on September the 21st, 2024. The national chairman had been in a meeting with the state executive at the party secretariat in Benin City, the state capital, when the protest started. The state chairman of the Labour Party, Mr. Kelly Ogboloi, who later addressed journalists at the NUJ Press Center, faulted the protest, insisting that alternative channels were available for inquiries on any area that needed clarity.
How can the executive of the party not participate in the primaries? Okay, who is he bringing to voting? That means he on his own, he as a candidate of his choice already.
Yes.
We don't want you to participate in the primaries. Let the primaries be free and fair. Let everybody go and vote for the candidates they want. We don't want our board to involve in the primaries. We just want what the youth of Labour Party want is a free and fair primaries. Anybody that emerges as winner will support.
I am of the opinion these ones were chartered to disrupt the operation of the party in Edo State. And we will leave no stone unturned to deal with it fairly. First of all, if you are to ask or do a protest about the fact that you suspect that a particular process of an election will not be free and fair, then we know the definition of a protest and an armed protest, which they did today. And if they are members, I'm sure that they will normally get across to the party officials to ask questions. But let me inform you that this party, Labour Party, under my leadership in Edo State, is only going to do what is right. And that is why we have run a guideline that has reflected the constitution of the party, the Electoral Act, and the Constitution of Nigeria as amended in 1999.
Staying in Edo State, the People's Democratic Party has conducted a 3 ad hoc delegate congress in all 192 wards ahead of elections. Edo State Governor Godwin Obaseki, who was among the voters for the election in Oredo Local Government Area Ward 4, described the whole process as peaceful and credible.
Oredo Local Government Area Ward 4 is set to commence voting in the PDP 3 ad hoc delegate congress inside the Idia College in Benin City, the state capital.
98, 99, 100.
Governor Godwin Obaseki on time for the exercise. It takes his place on the queue.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Obaseki says the turnout is very impressive, typical of a well-coordinated political party. However, he did not rule out the possibility of complaints from aggrieved persons.
PDP is the best organized party in this country. I've been in 2 parties, so I know. And from what I have seen in terms of the administration of a party, you cannot beat PDP. They have very laid-down processes. They follow the constitutions clearly.
The monitoring team set up by PDP National Working Committee for the ad hoc delegate congress in Edo State is led by Enugu State Governor Peter Mba. He makes a stopover at Idia College. Mr. Mba continues to other centers to monitor the conduct of the delegate congress. Before heading back with this report, Mr. Mba gives his assessment of the congress.
Myself, as the chairman of the committee, the electoral committee, and my colleague members, we went to a number of wards where we found out that the turnout was huge and the process was free, fair, and credible.
Who are the aspirants for the governorship primaries, excluding Asuego Dialogue, have different opinions?
Governor Mba did not come into Benin until this afternoon. We have been waiting for the committee to have the traditional meeting with us as stakeholders. We are the aspirants for whom these congresses are being organized. Up to now, as we speak, nobody has invited us, nobody has involved us. We just hear rumors.
The 3-day ad hoc delegate congress is meant to select additional delegates besides the statutory ones who will decide who flies the flag of the PDP on February 22 when the governorship primaries will be taking place.
Fear, well, that is more than a four-letter word. It is a state where several families in Nigeria live, and though the Nigerian government has already increased the security budget and intensified its commitment to restoring citizens' confidence, stakeholders insist that Nigeria must do more to ensure that fear does not become the nation's 37th state. Well, tonight, Babajide Ogunsawo, founder of Leadership by Data and Channels Television's data consultant, is here to share more insight about the current security challenges in the country. Babajide, thank you very much for joining us on the news at 10.
Good evening, Anne. It's been long we've done the news at 10 together.
Yes, I was on vacation, but it's good to be back. Now, what caught my attention in all of this is fear becoming the 37th state in Nigeria. So to ask you now, what is the current state of security? What are the facts on ground at the moment?
And there are several ways to discuss the current state of security. But before we go into that, because you're back, I bought you some dinner.
Aren't you sweet?
This is Nigerian jollof rice, not Senegalese or...
Nigeria is always number one.
But here's it, Anne. No matter how delicious this dinner is, if I give you this fork to carry this rice, you wouldn't. And so, Anne, listen carefully to what I mean. This situation represents exactly what Nigeria's security and defense challenge is. We are attempting to use this to carry this. We will not achieve much. What I mean is, over the years, this is the Nigerian Armed Forces. We keep strengthening the Nigerian Armed Forces. We've changed it from plastic to gold. We keep doing all we can to make this stronger. Yet, the contribution of the 3 tiers of government is broken. Yet, the contribution from private security organizations is broken. Yet, the contribution from citizens is broken. And so what we keep doing is we keep trying to use just the armed forces to carry Nigeria's security. And Anne, no matter how strong we make this, as long as all of this is broken, this will not achieve much. And so over the years, we keep trying to use the Nigerian armed forces to carry all of our problems. And what I mean is for you to enjoy this dinner and for Nigeria to get back to be able to carry its security, we need to move from this and simply replace it with this. We need more contribution from all 3 tiers of government. We need more contribution from private security organizations. And we need more contribution from citizens. And until we get all these parts, we will not be able to enjoy our meals. We will not be able to carry our security forward. And that's the solution. We'll get back into this much later. You have talked about the current state of security. There are 5 states. And I would like us to quickly take a look at where we are on this ladder of fear, as you've described it, because it allows us to understand the good and the bad news. And if we take a look at what's in front of us, these are the steps on fear. We go from peace, criminality, banditry, kidnapping, terrorism, and insurgency. And for us to go down the ladder, it is still the same path. From insurgency, we've gone down to terrorism, and now we are that wrong where we're on kidnapping and banditry. So the good news is we are coming down that ladder, but we cannot move from insurgency and go straight into peace because we never went from peace to insurgency. Where we are, good news. We are coming down from insurgency, terrorism, kidnapping, banditry. We are not where we are, but the trend shows we are on the way gradually to peace. And so, yes, the armed forces, plus, like I've said, the 3 tiers of government, private citizens, private security organizations now have to work more efficiently for us to move down that ladder back to peace. That is our current state.
All right, but the Senate has already required a meeting with the service chiefs. What are the resolutions Nigerians should be expecting in all of this?
You know, Anne, thinking of that, the first is we need to understand how many times have the Senate called the service chiefs. And if we take a look into our history, right from when President Buhari became president in 2015, our history shows that every year, apart from 2017, the Senate keeps calling the service chiefs. 2015, in February, service chiefs were invited. 2016, service chiefs were invited. 2018, 2019, we've seen every year service chiefs get invited. 2022, the Senate invited the service chiefs twice, in August and September. Only last year, the Senate invited the service chiefs after President Tinubu was sworn in 3 times and now again. So in all, we're going back to this situation where the Senate feels that the solution to Nigeria's problem is to keep strengthening this. However, the solution is we need to, yes, make this stronger, a reference to the armed forces, but we need to replace this with this. And so until the Senate stops focusing on a security or an armed approach to Nigeria's security situation, we wouldn't go far. The Senate also has to rethink and understand that under Buhari, former President Buhari, what I'm telling you, Anne, is the service chiefs were invited 8 times. Under President Tinubu, the service chiefs, this is the 4th invitation to the service chiefs. So clearly, invitations do not create results.
About invitations. Well, what do you see the latest security surveys? What are they telling us about security across the geopolitical zones at the moment?
On that, Anne, we've got some good news and we've got some bad news, depending on how you want to look at it. Let's take a look at the surveys, especially comparing the results from December 2022 to the results of December 2023. And if we take a look at those surveys, looking at the national average, we'll see some good news. The surveys clearly shows that as at the end of December 2022, 44% of citizens, when asked, is security improving? 44% said security was improving. As at the end of last year, December 2023, those numbers have improved to 48%. However, there are 2 zones that have given negative feedback. That is the North Central and the Southwest. As at December 2022, 39% of citizens asked in the North Central if security was improving. The answer was yes. Now that number has gone down. So citizens in the North Central are saying security isn't improving. Citizens in the Southwest, 52% responded that security was improving. December 2022, only 50% responded security was improving. On an average, again, I repeat, security has improved in the last year. 44% in December 2022, now 48% in December 2023. However, what the security agencies and all tiers of government and private security organizations need to focus on are those 2 critical zones that we see negative feedback from the citizens.
So let's talk about the fight against terrorism. It started back in 2002. Now, how would you explain to the common man that this has lasted 2 decades? Is there a reason for that to last that long?
You know, Anne, it's how we understand Nigeria. I tell people, and I'll tell you this, Nigeria is a mansion, but we think and we act like we are living in a bungalow. And let's take a look at the map in front of us. Yes, we talk about 6 geopolitical zones. But Anne, listen carefully to what I'm about to tell you. The population of the Northeast Zone is equivalent to the population of Côte d'Ivoire. The population of the North Central Zone is the equivalent of the population of Malaysia. The population of Nigeria's Northwest is equivalent of the population of Kenya. Nigeria's Southwest, that's the population of Argentina. Nigeria's South-South, that's the population of Ghana. And Nigeria's Southeast, the population of North Korea. And what I'm telling you is that Nigeria is a mansion. We're not just 6 geopolitical zones. What we have seen is we are the equivalent of 6 countries. And so we need to understand, and the president isn't just the president of Nigeria. He needs to understand that He's the president of several countries. Again, what I'm telling you is Nigeria is a mansion, but we're thinking and acting like we're living in a bungalow. And just before I leave, later tonight, apart from what I've told you, Burna Boy, Davido, Ayasta will be telling the world about how great Nigeria is in music, despite all the things I've told you about Nigeria's challenges and security
so there's
problems.
always something good, but the thing I took out of this is that from here, we should go here,
Exactly,
right?
and from there, that's where we're going.
All right, thank you very much. Babajide Ogusawo, founder of Leadership by Data and Channels Television's data consultant. It's always a pleasure.
And don't forget your jollof rice.
Bring it.
And don't forget what to eat with it.
I will eat it. All right, to other stories now. The federal government is determined to see the railway system work effectively because it is one mode of transportation that is most compatible with industrialization. And that's according to the managing director of the Nigeria Railway Corporation, Mr. Fidet Ohiria, during an exclusive interview with Channels Television. And according to him, the government is deliberately rehabilitating and enhancing some sections of the rail tracks, which should be ready by the first quarter of this year.
First quarter of this year, we'll be able to start running Lagos to Kano. I will also say I'm very happy. We did that quietly in-house, restored the track, and as we speak, by last week, Wednesday, a locomotive have been able to move from Lagos to Kaduna. Okay. And we have also been able to move from Kaduna to Kano. We hope within next week, all those coaches that we are left behind Kaduna. They are working on them now. So we'll move them without people, but our staff. As what we call a trial run to transit from Kano to Lagos. And we will also do other trial runs before we can declare it open and use it for goods and passengers. That's where we are on Lagos to Kano. And Port Harcourt to Maiduguri, while we are looking for funds to also engage in modernization, the government felt that if you stop operating on Port Harcourt to Maiduguri, people will forget that the rail ever existed, and a contract was given to Chinese to reconstruct, not just to do it. You have to increase what's called the ASO load, remove the gradients, remove those reverse curves, strengthen the bridges so that it can carry more load.
For more on this interview, please watch Newsnight on Monday, 9 p.m. on all Channels television platforms. And still ahead on the news at 10, 6 Nigerian artists received 10 nominations for 66 Grammy Awards holding in Los Angeles in the United States. Please stay with us.
In every show, we bring you closer to the fastest growing movie industry in the world. From the making to the premiere. Get up close and personal with the stars and industry captains, plus reviews and much more. Nollywood Uncut, every week at these times.
Welcome back. The recent relocation of some departments of the Central Bank of Nigeria and the Federal Airports Authority of Nigeria FAN to Lagos has raised divergent reactions. In this next report, our business correspondent Laddie Williams highlights the cost-benefit analysis and what the law is saying about the decisions of the CBN and the Ministry of Aviation and Aerospace Development.
Where an organization is situated plays a crucial role in how it does business. The Tinubu administration has come with major reforms, from unification of the FX market to the removal of fuel subsidy. But a more recent one is the relocation of some departments at the Central Bank of Nigeria and Department of Federal Airport Authority of Nigeria from Abuja to Lagos.
Mr. President.
The CBN is made up of 17 departments, which include banking supervision, other financial institution supervision, consumer protection department, payment system management department, financial policy regulations department. The Department of Banking Supervision of the Central Bank of Nigeria is one of the 5 being moved to Lagos, while one department of FAN is being moved to Lagos. The movement of these centers of operation by the Tinubu administration have raised mixed reactions.
This is a decision that is not well thought out, and I think the president will reverse it. I'm confident of that. And if that does not happen, of course, this is democracy. We'll know what to do.
The Minister of Aviation gives reasons for the relocation of the FAN department.
These departments in Lagos, for the ones that are here, the directors that are here, you see them flying every day with files to and from Abuja. So you get one simple signature, to get one document approved for one small meeting or the other. And it is compounded by the fact that FAN is not yet digitalized. That is what I met on the ground. In 1 year, they showed me the book, Seun. They spent close to ₦500 million on air tickets.
There are laws guiding operations of these organizations. The CBN Act of 2007 provides a legal framework for its operations. Subsection 1 of the Act defines the establishment of the nation's apex bank as the Central Bank of Nigeria. Furthermore, Section 3 states that the head of office of the bank shall be located anywhere in the Federal Capital Territory. Relocating the headquarters of the CBN to Lagos would involve amending the CBN Act to officially recognize Lagos as the new principal office location of the bank.
That when you go back and look at the philosophy of the setup, it does not necessarily have to be in the Federal Capital Territory. I agree, that is what the law says. But we can even look at that law again.
Meanwhile, analyzing the risks and benefits might be a little tricky.
Now, all we need to do now is to say, okay, look, Mr. Governor, Mr. Cardoso, you said that we're moving 4 departments to Lagos, okay? In a month's time, or 2 months' time, or in 3 months' time, or in a year's time, we should be able to look back and say, this decision, like this policy decision that you have taken, what have been the implications?
Going forward, I spoke to a HR consultant to get an in-depth analysis on the costs for the workers, because at the end of the day, these departments are people being moved from one state to the other.
People don't just, because people have ties, they just leave one location and just move on as if it didn't matter they were somewhere before. It's part of the cost there. So there should be like 3 costs we're tracking. The cost to the organization, and of course the benefit, we can compare that. The cost to the employees being moved, and the benefit, and then the cost to society.
Currently, 1,500 redeployed CBN staff have reportedly resumed at the Lagos office. It remains to be seen how the relocations impact the services of these departments. Ladi Williams, reporting for Channels Television News.
The wife of the President and First Lady of Nigeria, Senator Oluremi Tinubu, has emphasized the need for necessary infrastructure to be put in place to address the health challenges and ensure better care for cancer patients and survivors in the country. This was contained in a statement by Mrs. Tinubu to mark this year's World Cancer Day, which has as its theme, Closing the Care Gap. The First Lady says the day presents an important opportunity to raise awareness and elaborate further on the message of prevention, early detection and treatment of cancer. According to her, no one should have to face the challenges of cancer alone. Let us all continue to show empathy, care, love and support for cancer patients and survivors, even as we create more awareness and advocacy for better service delivery. Also, we are to celebrate those who are cancer-free. The government of Nasarawa State has launched the state's multi-sectoral plan of action for food and nutrition. At the official launch of the action plan, Governor Abdullahi Sule stated that his administration is committed to strengthening the nutritional value chain of the state. The plan, which has a 6-result area, has a 5-year plan estimated to cost 4.1 billion naira. Correspondent Halima Gayam reports.
According to the 2018 National Nutrition and Health Survey, there is not much improvement in the growth rate, which currently stands at 32% among under 5 children in Nasarawa State.
And launched the 5-year...
The state also accounts for 7.7% of underweight children in Nigeria, with chronic undernutrition at 31.4% among under 5 children, while 2.7% of women between 18 and 49 have severe acute malnutrition. Governor Abdullahi Sole, accompanied by the Deputy Governor Emmanuel Akabe and other stakeholders from the Finance, Health and Education Ministries, gather for the launch of the State Multi-Sectoral Plan of Action for Food and Nutrition 2023 to 2028.
The recent approval granted to the State Head of Civil Service for the creation of Nutrition Department in all nutrition line ministries, departments and agencies of the state is a giant leap in the positive direction.
When we're counting these 5 years that this document will be used, we're going to see a remarkable improvement in our nutritional status as a state, and all our indicators should be able to read better.
The United Nations Children Fund is supporting the implementation of the program and appeals to the governor to ensure the availability of resources to drive its implementation.
Use this opportunity to appeal for the prioritization of budgetary allocation and releases to all ministries, departments, and agencies.
Governor Abdullahi Sole restates his commitment to ensure that the impact reaches vulnerable groups.
Let me re-echo our commitment to continue to support the effort of the federal government through the creation of enabling environment for nutritional activities that will support and empower mothers and caregivers for adequate nutrition for children in line with the Renewed Hope agenda.
The 5-year plan, estimated at 4.1 billion naira, has 6 result areas. Halima Gayam, Channels Television News.
Operatives of the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, NDLEA, have intercepted large consignments of Ghanaian loud, which is a strong strain of cannabis sativa, smuggled into the country from Ghana, loaded in 2 trucks and a J5 bus with a total weight of 14,524.8 kilograms. According to the NDLEA, the 3 vehicles conveying jumbo bags of the psychoactive substance were trailed, and they were intercepted at Ojuelegba area of Lagos in the early hours of Sunday. In the process of blocking the vehicles, 2 of the drivers jumped off in motion, but a 3rd driver, 66-year-old Nasiru Jomo, who works with a wanted drug baron, was arrested. In the same vein, NDLEA operatives on routine patrol around the warehouse sealed in Idumota area of Lagos by the agency over an ongoing investigation arrested 3 suspects, Joseph Joshua, Mohammed Adamu and Balarabe Musa, who burgled the store and retrieved 546,700 pills of tramadol and other opioids. NDLEA also intercepted illicit drugs in Lagos. Meanwhile, the male deaf and dumb suspects dealing in these substances has been arrested at Samaru area in Zaria, Kaduna State. At the time of his arrest, 150 grams of cannabis were recovered from him while selling the psychoactive substance. Another suspect, Ibrahim Sani, who's 56, was arrested in possession of 51 kilograms of the same substance in the state. Operatives in Abuja on Wednesday, January the 31st, arrested Emmanuel Paul with 43.5 kilograms of cannabis concealed in used shoes loaded into a trailer coming from Obese in Ondo State to be delivered to Gwagwalada area of Abuja. While in Katsina State, NDLEA officers on patrol along the Tsima-Katsina Road on Friday apprehended a suspect, Motala Isa, 35, with a total of 37,000 pills of tramadol. And in Kogi State, operatives on Wednesday, January the 31st, destroyed 833.3 kilograms of cannabis sativa on 2 acres of farmland in Iluke community, and that's in Kababungu local government area, while the owner, Samuel Atonila, who's 49, was equally arrested. On the same day, operatives in Nasarawa arrested 3 suspects, Mohammed Musa, Baliaminu Musa, and Sadia Yau, with some psychoactive substance weighing 24.4 kilograms in Karu local government area of the state, while no less than 258 kilograms of the same substance were recovered from a bush store around the Ikare bypass in Owo, Ondo State. And anxiety is almost at fever pitch level as Nigerians and fans of Afrobeat look ahead with expectations at the ongoing 66th Grammy Awards in Los Angeles in the United States of America. Well, 6 Nigerian acts go to the big night with 10 nominations across 5 categories, with 2021 Grammy winner Burna Boy leading the pack with 4 nods at an event which is recording many firsts for African music. Burna Boy will jostle compatriots and another front-runner, Davido, in 3 categories, and both of them, of course, will contend with Arya Starr and the joint nomination for Olamide and Asake in the newly introduced Best African Music Performance category. 2023 winner Thames will contend in the song written for visual media category for her work on the Rihanna-performed Black Panther, which was a theme, Lift Me Up. Along with his nominations, the self-professed African giant Burna Boy will also get a performance slot on the big stage to become the first Nigerian artist to enjoy that feat. Fans of all these artists have continued to show support. They're bantering with each other on social media as expected for the Grammy bragging rights, but they're also, more importantly, showing support for the Nigerian contingent to the awards night hosted by the Recording Academy of American music industry. And now to art. Still talking art this time, contemporary artist Peju Alatishe already presents Alafia, which is the title of her solo exhibition at Cole Gallery right here in Lagos. Through her life-like sculptural pieces, the artist preaches peace while making a case for the girl child. We see it on Art View tonight.
Alafia, a Yoruba word which means peace, is what contemporary artist Peju Alatishe is giving her audience who are in the Cole Gallery to see her latest body of work. Life-sized, colorful, and bold, all addressing current realities in this creative wonderland.
I want them to come here and just be happy. You know, formerly I'll be political and very ready to fight. But these days I'm just chilled and just wishing people well. We've all been through a hell lot of difficulties in the past couple of years. We all have experienced some kind of hardship, whether it's with the health or economically, financially, with the lockdown and all, and it's time to heal. So again, this is just wishing everyone Alafia.
It's become her signature, installations, which take up a lot of space in the gallery, working with wrought iron, chain and other material to achieve an intriguing storyline, a world free of rancor, as she encourages everyone to learn from the innocence of children while advocating for the rights of girls.
But I think it really showcases her sculptures, large sculptural pieces, women, which is what we're so excited about because we love featuring female artists. We're a female-run gallery, and it was quite amazing to see the works that she had, the body works that she had, and we're so excited to have her here again.
Peju Alatishe is an interdisciplinary artist, architect and writer who always creates works of art that speak to socio-cultural issues.
Right from youth, right from when she was in secondary school, she has always been extremely imaginative. There was a time she told me, "Mommy, I wish you can open my brain and see what is inside." Well, I said, if I open it, I can only see mucus. I will not see what is there, except you translate it. So she has always been a very talented girl.
The Cole Gallery wants art lovers to leave their worries behind once they step into this space and just enjoy the beauty around them. Is there wellness without freedom? That's the question Pedro Alatishe wants the audience to ponder even after they leave this exhibition of paintings and sculptural pieces.
In the world of sports, British-Nigerian boxer Dan Azeez is confident that he will bounce back strong after losing the WBA light heavyweight title, the final eliminator bout, to Joshua Buatsi. Buatsi won the fight by unanimous decision and also went home with Azeez's British title. Speaking to Channels Television's Austin Okonakwan in London, Super Dan believes that he will be inspired by this defeat.
Hopefully, you know, we can still push towards the top. At the end of the day, world honours, that's what we're pushing towards. It's maybe just a little setback, but it's not, you know, something that's career-defining. You know, I'll go back to the drawing board. I'll work on what I need to work on, improve and come back stronger. You know, there's plenty of fighters, you know, that were great in their times. They've taken L's, so it's just about how you come back from them. It was a great fight, tough fight. I learned a lot, and hopefully, yeah, we can bounce back.
To Boake from Abidjan on Tuesday for their semi-final Africa Cup of Nations against South Africa's Bafana Bafana. The three-time champions will continue their preparations for the encounter in Abidjan today and tomorrow. They will have the official training on arrival in Côte d'Ivoire's second city on Tuesday afternoon. Now, when Côte d'Ivoire hosted their only previous Africa Cup of Nations finals, that's 40 years ago, Nigeria also played their semi-final match in the city against Egypt, with the Super Eagles winning the game 8-7 on penalties after a 2-2 draw. Egypt have sacked Portuguese coach Rui Vitória a week after their disappointing last 16 exits at the Africa Cup of Nations in Côte d'Ivoire. Vitória's deal was supposed to run until 2026 World Cup, but then Egypt's dismal Cup of Nations campaign, which culminated into a shootout loss to the Democratic Republic of Congo following a 1-1 draw last Sunday, brought the premature end to his tenure. The Egyptian Football Association says the 53-year-old and his entire backroom staff had been relieved of their duties, while Mohamed Youssef, who's a former coach of Al Ahly, who led the Egyptian Giants to the African Champions League title in 2013, will take over on an interim basis. Arsenal rekindle their bid for a first Premier League title in 20 years, and that's after beating leaders Liverpool 3-1 at the Emirates earlier this evening, while Liverpool's hopes of sending off manager Jurgen Klopp as a champion of England were dented as Arsenal closed within 2 points at the top of the table. Manchester United climbed into the top 6 as Rasmus also and Alejandro struck the show further signs of a brighter future for the Red Devils in a 3-win over West Ham. Mauricio Pochettino's problems mounted as a struggling Chelsea crashed to a dismal 4-2 defeat against Wolves at Stamford Bridge. And outside our shores, Namibia now has a new president following the death of President Hage Geingob, and Nangolo Mumba, who was vice president to late President Geingob, took the oath of office in the country's capital, Windhoek, hours after announcing the death of his predecessor. And the main news again. Pupils and teachers of Apostolic Faith Montessori School in Emure-Ekiti, kidnapped about a week ago, regained their freedom. The driver of the school bus in which they were abducted was, however, found dead. That's the news at 10 tonight. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Anne Nwawado. Have a wonderful week ahead and good luck to Nigerians at the Grammys.